Welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. The Verkhovna Rada approved a bill which is aimed to improve a mechanism of public procurement through a Prozorro system. In particular, the adopted bill introduces personal responsibility for violations of procurement law and improves the mechanism of judicial appeal, as well as harmonizes public procurement standards. To talk more about this, we welcome to our studio today Yarema Dul. He's the head of International Cooperation Division of the Public Procurement Department at the Ministry of Economic Development and Trade of Ukraine. Hello, and thank you for joining.
Hello, thanks for inviting.
So first of all, I would like to remind our audience what the Prozorro procurement system is. It is a fully online public procurement platform that ensures open access to public tenders in Ukraine. The Prozorro system has helped to save over $2.5 billion for the country's budget since its introduction 4 years ago. More than 215,000 entrepreneurs benefited from using the platform, and among them are over 80% of companies that represent small businesses. The main advantage of the Prozorro system is open data on all purchases that enables any business, regardless of its volume or country of origin, to participate in Ukrainian government tenders. So now, the Verkhovna Rada has adopted a new version of the law on public procurement. What are the main changes?
First of all, I think it's important to mention that the amendments to the new law, the new version of the law, was developed due to obligations of Ukraine under the EU and Ukraine Association Agreement. So we have a comprehensive roadmap of harmonization of Ukrainian legislation to European. This means that simplified and unified harmonized procedures will enable a better access of Ukrainian suppliers to EU public procurement market and vice versa, EU suppliers to participate in Ukrainian tenders. Main changes of the new version of the law are the new procedures. First of all, we developed a mandatory simplified low value e-auction, which means that now from 50,000 hryvnias to 200,000 hryvnias, contracting authorities will be obligated to conduct these tenders within the e-procurement system Prozorro. It's going to be simplified for them still. We believe this will raise competition on the market. We also change the approach of the review mechanism according to the AMCU, Anti-Monopoly Committee of Ukraine, which is responsible for this, which is a review body in public procurement in Ukraine. Now the payment of the fee for the complaint, if you are not accepting the decision of the contracting authority, should be done through the electronic procurement system, and also the amount of the fee will be raised in percentage in relation to the estimated value of the procurement. And also, if you are a contracting authority which is a complainant and you win your complaint, those money will be returned for you.
All right. The public purchasing accounts for a great part of Ukraine's GDP, right?
Yeah.
Annually, it's about 600 billion hryvnias, which is approximately $20 billion, 20 billion euro. I'm sorry, and that is worth of goods and services that are transacted with the help of tenders. It is estimated that Prozorro may be responsible for up to 10% of the overall to public spending savings due to increased competition and better transparency, according to the new law. How much of the GDP can the system save now?
It's difficult to foresee the percentage because the KPI as savings is risky itself.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily always mean that you had a big competition and your suppliers fell down in their price. Sometimes it may maybe planning had a bad stage before the tender and the estimated value was defined wrongly. We still think that the savings will raise. We think because the amount of the below threshold procurement we had out of the system before the new law was about half of the whole bulk of the procurement. Now, conducting these simplified electronic actions, we believe they will provide a better access for suppliers, and suppliers themselves will lower their price trying to win the tender.
Interesting. How many businesses and tenders are registered in the system now?
I don't even have the number. I think that's more than 170,000 suppliers. I have to check that in the electronic system.
That is.
But that's all in the. We have developed the business intelligence model, which is bi.prozorro.org. You can access this web page and you can see all the statistics and all the data in procurement Ukraine possesses.
Okay. The bill that was passed, it strengthens the responsibility for the breach of the law for, let's say, not very transparent customers. How exactly is it done?
Yeah, sure. As I mentioned that before, one of the problems of the system was the misuse of their rights of suppliers in the system, because it doesn't matter how comprehensive system they build if the users of the system want to get through just across or behind it. So first of all, what we did, we developed a new system of fees that non-competitive and violating the legislation contracting authorities or their employees will have to be charged if they conduct a violation. The raise is really significant. So the simplest violations are about 170, 340 hryvnias. That's just for simplest ones. But the average ones will raise up to 25.5 till 51,000 hryvnias. This is a significant raise, we think. And also, what is new in that we imply these fees for the heads of contracting authorities. This means not only employees which are developing the tender or tender committees until 2022 will have to pay these fees, but also the heads of these contracting authorities, heads of legal entities.
Okay. Another innovation that is included in the newly passed bill, it's expanding the list of competitive procedures and consolidating the right of customers to conduct pre-tender communications with businesses. How is it going to be done?
Yeah, sure. Well, usually it was considered if the contracting authorities goes out to the market prior to tender, it may lead to some kind of
bribery?
Bribery or decisions taken before the tender even goes. The international best practice shows us that if the contracting authorities are better prepared for the tender, because they know what they want to procure, they know the market itself, the tender will be even more efficient. So we are now showing to our contracting authorities that they don't have to be afraid. It is absolutely legal to go and consult, to have pre-tender consultations with suppliers, to design the tender documentation even better.
All right, and a new anti-dumping tool has been introduced. The system is supposedly going to highlight an abnormally low price. Could you please enlighten us a little bit more on the new anti-dumping tool?
This is more about preventing cancellation of tenders and having non-efficient tenders. Obviously, some suppliers are dumping their prices with only one single intent to then put the contracting authority in a position when they cannot. They already have the contract. They have to get the product, and then the supplier just says, "We have to sign an additional agreement and raise the price." This is one of the options we want to exclude, but also there's a risk of suppliers which may, trying to win the race in lowering their price, can put the price that low they won't be able to supply.
Right.
So this mechanism, we think, will help to prevent these issues.
What about medical purchases?
Yeah.
Certain medicines will further be procured through international organizations over the next 2 years, and approval of the list of such medicines and the procedure for their procurement through the Cabinet of Ministers, right?
Yeah.
What happens after 2 years?
We hope for their development. We hope that the Ministry of Healthcare and their central procurement body will be created, and there will be professional procurers, authorized persons, ready to conduct procurement on their own. We're totally sure that though the practice of purchase through international companies is normal worldwide, still we believe that people working within the system of procurement in Ukraine can deliver better savings and more efficient procurement.
As effective as the Prozorro system is right now already and proved to be really profitable, in your opinion, what changes does it still need to undergo to become even more fruitful?
Well, as I mentioned before, it sometimes doesn't matter how beautiful and comprehensive electronic system you build if users don't know how to use it. So this is one of our main directions, is professionalization.
Okay.
We are trying to build the whole sector of professional people dealing with public procurement. This is the first one. Also, the second one is electronization. Sometimes just taking the responsibility from people and just making the process electronical simplifies it, so people don't have to make sometimes wrong decisions. And the last one is control, obviously. We are tightly working with the State Audit Service of Ukraine. It also touches digitalization because we are developing the electronic risk indication management system, which helps State Audit Service of Ukraine to detect tenders they will have to audit.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Again, thanks for inviting. My pleasure.
I hope this is not the last time. That was Yarema Dul. He is the head of the International Cooperation Division of the Public Procurement Department at the Ministry of Economic Development and Trade of Ukraine. Thank you so much for watching the program. Stay tuned with UATV for more.